Hello everyone, it's Magdalena, Wolf of Coins. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I wanted to show you something fun. I think it was the last video where I showed you my 4 oracle decks for 4 elements. And I mentioned that recently I feel drawn to working closer with the elements. If you've watched my previous video, you've seen my bag of magic beans. So basically I painted regular beans with acrylic paint, with each color representing one of the elements. And yeah, I basically every day after my morning practice with Slavic gymnastics, I pull one bean and then use the oracle that is from that element for me. But this is not about reading cards. These are actually the cards that I'm using for playing. Well, occasionally when I read with playing cards, then I read with them. But these are just for playing. However, since I'm finding those patterns of elements in my life more and more, I also see them here. So these are the 4 decks that I see that can represent 4 elements. So as I grew up, I mostly saw cards like these. Piatnik, they were the staple at my parents' house, so the pictures are much more elaborate than on the bicycle cards. I really loved them always. And also my grandma was teaching me basically to read playing cards with these. Not this deck, not this particular deck, but this type of deck. Yeah, so I usually prefer decks for playing cards with those more elaborate pictures, but I think that bicycle, even though they have those more simplified images, they are so excellent at quality. Well, Piatnik is good as well, but I think right now these are just having the best cardstock available from those that I held in my hands. And also I really admire the attention to detail, the design, because when you have less elaborate images for the court cards, you have like more limited field to play with your imagination. And yet bicycle employs obviously excellent designers, so I really admire their skill. So this is they are all have this air cushion finish. I'm not really sure what it means. I only know that it feels great and shuffles amazing. Except for, yeah, this one too. So there is the Sea King. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Sea King deck. The Aviary. So with birdies. Firebird. It's obvious then. This is water for me. This is air. This is fire. And lastly, I picked this one. This is the vintage for earth, because it has those earthy colors and it kind of feels grounded because it's an aged deck. Printed new, but looks like old. So maybe let's start with water. Look at this box. It's so gorgeous. What I really love about this deck is this background. This one has background. Not sure. Yeah, you should see it. Here, there are patterns. So we have two jokers on bicycles. Well, not really jokers, these are kings of spades. This is the most elaborate ace of spades, with the sea king's face here. And then we go with the, there are those frames around the symbols, and the color of the black colors is not really black, it's this really dark indigo, which fits really well with the Sea King theme, right? So yeah, there is not too much to show here. This is the 10. And then we get the court cards, which are again in this muted underwater palette. I love it. It looks so amazing. The Jack, the Queen, the King. Then diamonds. Similar pattern here with the frames. It looks so nice. I mean, I love 10 of diamonds. It has those, yeah, they like join together in this image, like a chain. And there's the Jack. Let's see. Yeah, he looks a bit brighter, paler. Let's say he has white colored patterns on his headdress, and Jack of Spades has dark ones. And I think that this red also, it's not red like red, it is also a bit muted, like we were looking through the water. Yeah, the King, the Queen. I really am annoyed when I'm online looking at playing card decks and they don't show the cards. Like they show you the backs. Oh, by the way, these are the backs. They show you the backs and they, for example, show you only the Ace of Spades. And what about the court cards? I want to see the court cards. And also, what about the pips? I want to see the pips, because they are not identical in each deck. So that's very annoying. Don't you think? Please let me know in the comments. Are you annoyed by the scarcity of images for playing card decks online? Yeah, King of Hearts, who is piercing his own head. Wait a minute, did I have a King of Hearts here? Yeah. And the Piatnik version, he's just holding the sword, pointing up. And by the way, the King of Clubs always makes me think about my grandpa. Because when Grandma was explaining playing card reading, she explained who from our family is whom in the court cards. So this was my grandpa. I think that, yeah, this was me. It was based on hair and eye color. This was my grandma, so they formed a couple. They had both, like, in their youth, they had dark hair. This was my mom, and so on. So, the King of Hearts, the Queen. Sorry for interruptions, I'm just so curious. Look, she's also holding a little flower. And here you can see the difference in reds. This is the red. This is this underwater red. and the jack, and the pips. And information card, and one card that has backs only. I don't know, maybe it helps with card tricks. Because I actually, most of these decks I purchased from a magic trick store online. Because these are excellent for making tricks, because they can do, for example, this. They are wonderful. Yeah, and this there is this air cushion finish that I mentioned before. I don't know what it means, but it also has this linen finish, which means they don't create much of a glare. And they shuffle great, and they spread excellent. Yeah, this is bicycle for you. Okay, not to make this video too long, let's look at the aviary, the birdies. This one I fell in love instantly when I saw it. So again, these are the backs, and this is double back card, presentation card. Oh, you can see who's designed this. Even Nicholas Matej, not sure. Yeah. So again, there are bicycles for jokers, and there are little birdies riding them. Then the ace of spades. And here we don't have those borders, but we have patterns inside. Oh my goodness, will you see it? There are patterns inside of the symbols of the suit. And what I really like about this design is that it's so, I don't know how to put it, like it's not sturdy. Oh, I like an English word, but see, these are more like they have this shape, a wavy shape here, and these are like little funny leaves. So yeah, I like this. It's a bit different, and it's pretty in my eye. So okay, 10. Can you see the pattern? It's pretty dark. Not through the camera, they are pretty well visible. And now, look at that. There is a variation on the classic simplified image. It is still this image, but here we get some variation here. There are no contours. And the style, I really love it. He's like built from, it reminds me of Japanese obi belts put on him. A bit, like a lot of patterned cloth. I do have some kimonos because I used to dance Japanese traditional dance. And it just reminds me of those obis that you fold in certain ways, and they create those angles, and yeah, somehow I find it really cool. And we have birdies. There's an owl. There's this little birdie from the Joker. Then there's a different pattern in the reds. Again, the colors are a bit muted, but this time this is more orange than muted orange, you might say. Okay, and this is big. I like how big it is compared to the previous deck, which has a tiny ace of diamonds. See? Well, I like this shape also. I like both. And I love that they have this variety. in their cards. Also, the font is different here. See, I think it, yeah, this is a serif font, and this is without. So, like, everything matches the style. He also has a birdie. She has a flower. Again, an owl. See, this completely looks like an obby belt. I love how it's so beautiful. Again, the clubs have this dark pattern, and it's a bit differently shown than in the space. It's hard to see, but hopefully you will. There is also a big, nice, plump ace of clubs. And there's, yeah, again, he's putting the sword or a dagger into his own head. And look, he has feathers here. She also has feathers. And he's holding a feather. Do they have feathers? No, these didn't have feathers. So it's only for the hearts, of course. See, that's what I'm talking about. All those tiny little details that you can admire. Just like in Tarot de Marseille decks, where you don't have such freedom in designing, and yet you can create fantastic things. And a chunky ace of hearts. So this was my air. Now, which one? Yeah, let's say. Woo! Look what they did. Look what they just did. They fanned themselves on their own. All right, so there's the Firebird. And the jokers are very similar to the Sea King, but the colors are different. You can see that this is a different palette. It's a fiery palette. And the ace, yeah, these are the backs. The ace of spades has this beautiful phoenix that reminds me of 4 of coins in some Tarot de Marseille decks. Do you know what I mean? For example, in the Claude Bourdelle 1751, there's this phoenix here in the 4 of coins. See? It kind of reminds me. Maybe it's an inspiration. There's also one in the Ace of Cups. So this time, no background, no borders, but there is a pattern. It's like lace pattern created by the symbols of the suit. How gorgeous is that? It's absolutely gorgeous. Then there's the Jack, and he's all fiery. But not too fiery, like it's not too bright. It's just this classy, warm, and kind of reminds me of rich wine palette. Queen and the King. So the Ace of Diamonds is tiny. It's basically the size of the symbols on the other cards. And then there's the Jack, the Queen, the King, and clubs. So maybe I just shuffled this deck, so everything is mixed, but I do have some cards here. For example, a Queen of Clubs. So you can see it's basically the same picture, but colored differently. What's also interesting is that the line art is here, it's not black, it's again this indigo, and the frame too. This frame has like also this border that we saw on the pips. And here the frame and the line art is dark red, deep dark wine color, which is a lovely detail. More clubs. And the ace is small. The suicidal King of Hearts. Oh, these hearts look absolutely fantastic. Gorgeous. And the ace. So this is the Firebird. Obviously my fire element. And lastly, I'll show you the vintage deck. Yeah, they are pretty mixed because I've been using them just recently. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so again, this one also has this double backed card. These are the jokers, so they are a bit more like vintage indeed, and all of the cards look aged. And I love these, they look so great. And when I'm reading the cards, I like to make tableaus out of them. Recently I don't read that much playing cards, but they look awesome, believe me. So these are not in order. I will be showing them just like this. So, how awesome is that? I like old things. I know it's fake old, but still it looks amazing. Doesn't it? Oh yeah, and the aces are also pretty. Oh, here they are all in those diamond frames. Queen, the king. Look there, look, those little dots, like dots of dirt on the cards. It's such a wonderful design. I'm impressed. And also they are not evenly destroyed. Like here, this side is clearer and this one is a bit faded. Ace of Hearts. And Ace of Diamonds. Gorgeous. So playing with cards like these is also loads of fun. So please let me know in the comments which deck you like the most. And do you play playing cards? In my family, it used to be a favorite pastime. My grandparents played really a lot, like almost every day. They had some afternoon fun with the cards. And I grew up looking at those cards, also learning games for children, later also for grown-ups. And nowadays I don't play much, but my older son is getting bigger, so I think we will be playing together and it will be fun. So, what I wanted to know was which deck you liked the most and why. Do you play playing cards? Do you read playing cards? And if you do, in what way you do that? And yeah, that's mostly it. If you have any other thoughts, please let me know and have a wonderful day. Bye!